In part 2 of this video tutorial, we're going to go over the adjusting entries. We're going to start with letter A. Letter A, office supplies used during the year amounted to $10,498. This is an example of a prepaid adjusting entry, and we're going to increase our office supplies expense and decrease our asset office supplies. So when we do an adjusting entries for prepaid expenses, we always calculate the amount used for the journal entry. So for A, we're going to debit office supplies expense for $10,498, and we're going to credit office supplies for $10,498. Letter B, depreciation on the office equipment is estimated to be $20,996. This is an example of depreciation adjusting entry. We're going to debit depreciation expense office equipment for $20,996, and we're going to credit accumulated depreciation office equipment for $20,996. Letter C, accrued interest on notes payable amounted to $3,086. This is an example of an accrued expense adjusting entry. We're going to debit interest expense for $3,086, and we're going to credit interest payable $3,086. Letter D, services totaling $41,994 have been performed but not yet billed. This is an example of accrued revenue adjusting entry. For accrued revenue adjusting entries, we're going to debit accounts receivable for $41,994, and we're going to credit revenue $41,994. The last one, salaries incurred by year end and not yet paid, amounted to $3,500. We're going to debit our salaries expense, $3,500, and credit wages payable, $3,500. Our next step, after we prepare our journal entries, is going to be record the debits and credits on the worksheet. So for example, for office supplies expense, we debited office supplies expense for $10,498. So on our worksheet, we're going to find office supplies expense, and under the adjustment column, we're going to place that amount in the debit column. My credit is office supplies, so I'm going to go to my worksheet. I'm going to find office supplies, and I'm going to credit that in the credit section of the adjustments column. I go to my next adjusting entry. I'm going to do depreciation expense office equipment. So I'm going to find that on the worksheet. Depreciation expense office equipment. That's a debit entry. So I'm going to put that debit in there. And then I'm going to credit accumulated depreciation office equipment. I'm going to find that on my worksheet. So all I'm doing now is, after I do all of my journal entries, my adjusting journal entries, I'm just going to post all of the debits and all of the credits in the appropriate section of the worksheet. So you can continue on with each of the following adjusting entries, placing them on the worksheet.